Hey, it's game week, and your man JG feeling real greasy, Slim. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think somebody need to call up the curry out for me and order me a 4-piece wing fried hard, mumbo sauce on everything the way I'm feeling. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti Talking Sports. You know what it is.
Shout out Juan Gotti Talking Sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard.
So you probably like, Juan, why you so greasy? Right now, I'm feeling real spicy, greasy, whatever you want to call it, because I got the Washington Commanders starting off 7-0. Yes, there you go. I said it. I don't care. I've been holding it in all off season long. I've been trying to remain humble all off season long, but I said, you know what? I'm a drag. I'm a pop it. I'm going to talk how I really feel. And I got a path for the Washington Commanders to reach 7-0 to start the season. Now look, by any means am I saying all these games gonna be easy? No, I'm not. But at the end of the day, looking at the way we start this year off, I think Washington has a really good chance to start the season off 7-0. Kicking it off with this Sunday's matchup versus the New York Football Giants. And we know we always play the Giants tough. Whether we're way better than them on paper or we're not as good as them and anything in that matter, it's always going to be a close matchup. It's a division game. It never goes the way we assume it's going to go. And for that matter, I have this been a really close game. But at the end of the day, this ain't college football. And even to that less of a degree now, because you can afford to lose 2 games in college football now. It don't matter. It don't matter if it's pretty. At the end of the day, it's more important about getting the dub. And I know the New York Giants have a damn good defense. I'm not discrediting them at all. Obviously, going out and get a dual Carter in the draft. You already had Brian Burns. You already had Kayvon Thibodeau. You had Dexter Lawrence already, who was probably the best defensive tackle in the game, or one of the best in the game. Bobby Okereke. You go out and get Javon Holland, Paulson Adebo added to that defense, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think you're going to score enough to stop Washington's offense, to beat Washington or outscore Washington's offense. I know Russell Wilson is going to have a legit bona fide number 1 weapon that he hasn't had since DK Metcalf back in Seattle in the early portions of his career. I understand that, but at the end of the day, we owe Russ one. We ain't forget about last year versus Pittsburgh. We owe him one. And I think offensively, we're going to be able to put up points, and they're not going to be able to match it. They're not at all. They're gonna stall out. I think our defense is gonna be able to get pressure on Russell Wilson at times, and it's gonna do for a great way to start the season off for the Washington Commanders. And get this, we have a true home field advantage now. I don't think they understand what they truly walking into this Sunday coming up. I'm gonna be there. I hope you're gonna be there. Use promo code WANGOTTI to get 10% off your first purchase and be there at the game with me and every other Washington Commanders fan. We have a true home field advantage now, and it's going to be absolute crazy. And I don't think the New York Giants is ready for what they walking into this upcoming Sunday. Then week 2, short turnaround versus the Green Bay Packers. And I understand they just got Micah Parsons. I get it. I understand that they're hyped about that. They just paid him a boatload of money, and they're confident coming into this season. And you go out and you get Matthew Golden, right? You still got Josh Jacobs on that defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball. Running back, obviously, Rashawn Gary, another really defensive stud that's damn good. Obviously, Xavier McKinney was damn good last year. And you still got Carrington Valentine and some solid pieces defensively overall. But what I think is going to happen in this game is I think Washington is catching Green Bay at the perfect time. Had this game been in December, had this game been in January, it probably would have been a little bit different. But we're catching them in a short week. I think they're going to lose to Detroit come week 1 at Lambeau, their first game. And you got a short turnaround Thursday night versus the Washington Commanders team that just beat the New York Giants at home, coming on the road. road, going to Lambeau. It's going to be a nice, crisp fall night. It would not surprise me if this is Jaden Daniels, dare I say, coming out party part 2. I'm getting very much Cincinnati vibes for this game right here. But all in all, I'm going to be completely honest with you here. Their team just does not scare me enough to make me think like, oh, we're in trouble. Like, again, Micah Parsons is cool, a great addition to your team. But the rest of the squad offensively, I mean, Romeo Dobbs doesn't scare me. Christian Watson doesn't scare me. Tucker Kraft doesn't scare me. Like, nobody on that team put fear in my heart and make me feel like we can lose this game. Unless Jordan Love just turns up this year, I still think he's pretty mid. Is he a starting quarterback in this league? You're damn right. But he's mid to me. Like, he's nothing he has done up until this point of his career that has made me feel like, oh, he's an absolute stud. Got me shaking in my boots. No, that's not the case whatsoever. So I do think the Packers are a good team, but they're not going to beat us in week 2. I highly doubt that. Then you come back home and you face a Raiders team that I'm much more high on than most people. I truly think they're going to have a better season than what a lot of people think. You get Pete Carroll up in that team and trying to change that culture. You get Geno Smith this offseason, who's a serviceable vet, can get some pieces going. But you got Jacoby Myers requesting a trade. You get Ashton Genty running the ball. You got Max Crosby defensively. So you got some solid pieces on that squad, but Trey Tucker doesn't scare me. Nobody besides Brock Bowers offensively and Ashton Genty and Jacoby Myers. I'm not going to sit up here and act like he's just a scrub or whatnot, but if it ain't Brock Bowers, it ain't nothing else going for that team, and I think we're going to be able to feast on Geno Smith this upcoming week 3 matchup, because I think for a quarterback in this day and age, pocket passers ain't the wave. And if there was a game for Von Miller to show out in his key situational pass rushes games, or pass rushing snaps that he gets, I should say, as we know he'll be on like a snap count throughout the year, this would be one of the games where I think he can feast. Jacob Martin, you made this roster solely because of your athletic ability and having some bend. This can be a game where you show out. Jerzon Newton interiorly, this is the game where you show, because you have a quarterback that is borderline a statue. Not calling Geno Smith trash, but he's not a quarterback that threatens you with his legs, and I think that bodes well for this Washington Commanders pass rush, because I think this secondary is going to be like a glove for these offensive weapons of the Raiders, or a lack thereof. If it ain't Brock Bowers, it ain't nobody else. Jacoby Myers good, but he ain't Brock Bowers. Then you go to week 4. This is the game that scares me the most throughout this 7-game stretch to start the season. It is the Atlanta Falcons, and 9 times out of 10, your man Gotti's gonna be there. It's like 90% I'm gonna be in Atlanta for my first ever road game.
Georgia.
Right now, it's looking pretty solid, and this game scares me because we beat the Falcons every single year, and as you know, they always say at some point all streaks must come to an end, and this has me nervous. It ain't like last year where we faced them and Michael Penix was freshly new. It ain't like the years before with Taylor Heineke, whether we beat them at home in the rain, Brian Robinson truck sticking a guy for a touchdown, or it's Taylor Heineke on the road in Atlanta and Effort Turry's down there somewhere and he comes back and make the touchdown grab. Like, it's different in Atlanta, and I think Michael Penix is going to be an absolute dog, and you'll be crazy to think he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder from last year's performance. This Falcons team, they took it on the chin last year in week 17. Like, that is something that they had to deal with all off season long, and that's a tough pill to swallow, given the fact that you were so close to beating this Washington Commanders team on the road, week 17, Sunday Night Football, and we clinched the playoff berth to beat you all. It's a tough game, but I think Michael Penix is going to give us some run for our money again. And if there was a game that I think Washington would lose, it would be this one right here, if I'm being completely honest with you. It would be this one right here, but I don't see it happening. I think Washington wins that game. I think our home field advantage is going to take over, because we run the A, in terms of the fans show out, and I don't think they have enough for us. I truly don't. Then you go to week 5. This is going to be an interesting game, because up until this point, this is the best team we're going to face in terms of on paper, in terms of one of those guys, right? Justin Herbert is one of those guys. Say what you want to say about his playoff performances. He's still one of those guys, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and this is the toughest game we'll have on paper up until this point. And I think, honestly speaking, this is the best supporting cast Justin Herbert has had probably since entering his NFL career, if we're being honest, right? Like, you look at Marion Hampton, Najee Harris in the backfield. Obviously, you got Ladd McConkey, who's an absolute beast. You pair him up with Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith. You get OG Keenan Allen back, and I know your pass protection took a hit with Rashawn Slater, a huge hit, I may add, but you got Joe O. So I think this team is on paper is really, really good, and I think the way that they beat us is if they control time of possession and keep Jaden Daniels off the field. Keep Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders off the field. You control time of possession. You run the ball like Jim Harbaugh loves to do, and you control this game and slow it down. I think that's the way you beat Washington. You still got Khalil Mack, and you got the two young DBs and Cam Hart and Taheeb still got Derwin James, right? So that defense isn't no slouch neither, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat Washington. All that being said, I see this game getting to a point where offensively Washington may run away with this thing, honestly, because Greg Roman is their offensive coordinator, and as we know, Herbert has shown in his time that he can sling it. He can throw it 40, 50 times a game and win and put a team on his back. But I think throughout this year, you're going to realize that Greg Roman truly handicaps this offense from reaching its potential. And I think this is one of the games that it's on prime example here, or in prime position to show you, as I got Washington winning that game. Now, it's going to be interesting how the travel works, because we're going from Atlanta to LA. Do we go straight there like how we did Cincinnati to Arizona? That'll be an interesting way to figure that out. But we got 3 home games in a row, if you want to be real. We got a real home game week 3 versus the Raiders. We got a Falcons home game on the road. That's really our house. And we going to SoFi. You know how many Commanders fans about to be out there in LA? That's another home game for us. Then we come back to another home game versus the Chicago Bears. And this one is obviously going to be interesting. And I think it carries more weight for the Bears fans than it do us, because they had to deal with that Hail Murray all season long. They can't get rid of it. They will never get rid of it, right? That game, we practically ended their season last year. So we know they got a heavy chip on his shoulder. Caleb Williams coming back to the DMV again, and he's looking to have revenge this time. But you know what pisses me off about that game is that they talk about that game as if they were dominating, as if they should have won that game in terms of how it played out. Do y'all not remember how that game went, Bears fans? We absolutely were destroying you offensively. We just couldn't score the ball. We couldn't finish off drives. Caleb Williams was absolutely horrid that game. We were strapping everything that game. Even Benjamin St. Juice had to play. That's how you know it's bad. And they talk about that game as if they were just dogging us. And I like Caleb Williams. I'm always going to support Caleb Williams because he's a DMV product. And to contrary to popular belief, because a lot of people think I hate him, I don't. I just don't think he's as good as Jaden Daniels. But what I'll say is he has no excuses this year. For that matter, I don't think he's better than Drake May or Michael Penix. I'm taking those two guys over him as well. But he has no excuse this year. You get Ben Johnson. A lot of people gave you the benefit of the doubt last year, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt last year. You had, 3 offensive coordinators last year, 2 to 3 offensive coordinators last year. You fired Matt Eberflus, so you got a new culture, but you have no excuses. You didn't have no excuses pretty much last year because you had a really, really good situation. They said arguably that's the best situation a rookie quarterback can have ever went into, right? From the offensive weapons to the offensive line. Defensively, you were one of the best teams on paper heading into last year. So you were in a very, very good state. You're in an even better one now because you have a head coach that I think is competent and he fits your scheme and he fits your play style. He's going to make you look like Jared Goff, and that may be good for you. But talk about the surrounding weapons. You obviously got Roma Dunze, you got DJ Moore, you go out and get Luther Burton, you got Colston Loveland, you got Cole Kmet, you got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. And again, like I said, that defense is damn good. You go out and you get Joe Thuney this offseason, right? Like, there's no excuse for Caleb Williams this year. But I got Washington winning the game, all that being said, because I think it's going to go like this. I think it's going to end up being a situation where Caleb Williams is going to have an opportunity to win the game. And Quan Martin is going to intercept him and pick it off and seal that game for the Washington Commanders. I think it's going to go out there to show that it's levels to this. When the pressure's on, Jaden Daniels performs. When the pressure's on for Caleb Williams, he cracks, he folds. And it's going to be another example of why Jaden Daniels is the better quarterback. Then you go to week 7. And this one was a little tricky for me at first because I'm like, Micah Parsons and all them, and Deron Bland's going to be back, Trayvon Diggs going to be back. So that defense is slowly assembling, right? But they traded Micah Parsons, right? But you got Kenny Clark, you got Odigizua, you got Dante Fowler still, right on that defensive side of the ball. And that secondary is getting slowly back with paying Deron Bland yesterday, and you're getting Trayvon Diggs back at some point. I think he'll be back for this game. But you know what? Why I was confident in us winning this game? Not just because I think we're the better team on paper and we're the better coach team, and you got 2 first-year coaches, whether it's your head coach and Brian Schottenheimer or if it's your offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? I personally feel like Washington performs better in Dallas than at home. For whatever reason, we lose our mind when we have to play Dallas here in Washington or here in Landover. I don't know what it is. Last year, that Dallas team had no business beating us at home, but they did. We played down to our competition. We played like trash. Whether it was Five playing bad, whether it was Dan Quinn not being aggressive how he normally is, we lost that game. Kevon Turpin killed us, right? Austin Seibert ruined that game for us. Whatever reason, we cannot beat them in Washington. But this game's in Dallas. And I think this has an opportunity to be a shootout. I do. Because I know Dak Prescott, he's healthy. He's going to be hot. He's going to be hot to start the year. You know how Dak is, y'all. Dak is the MVP. Multi-time MVP when it comes to performing in October. He always starts off every season. How you go out and get a George Pickens to pair with a CeeDee Lamb. You got Jake Ferguson, obviously. But I think what's going to crack is Dak is going to be prone for 2 turnovers this upcoming game between us. See, the difference is they don't have a run game. And Dak having to pass the ball 40 to 50 times does not bode well for the Dallas Cowboys, because within those 40 to 50 passing attempts, I almost guarantee he's going to turn over the ball at least twice. At least twice. Now, if they along the way find a run game, whether it's Javonte Williams or it's Miles Sanders or it's the young guy Jaden Blue, whether they find a run game along the season, that's beyond me. But up until this point, I know Dak is probably going to be leading the league in passing yards and passing attempts. And I see that being the case here in this game, as I think Washington's going to go on the road and beat the Dallas Cowboys. Had this game been in Washington, we're losing. We're losing. I know for sure we're losing. Especially week 7, kind of, or still early in the season. We're losing that game. But it's on the road. And Dak is going to have to put that team on his back offensively. And I don't ask for nothing better, because I know he's going to crack. I know he's going to crack. And defensively for the Dallas Cowboys, Dante Fowler, he's good. But he already had his double-digit sack year. You might got to re-sign him next year. Maybe he can give you double-digit sacks next year. But he doesn't give you double-digit sack seasons back-to-back years. You know that. You formerly had him. So that's my path to 7-0. I'm looking at this, and I see nothing but wins up into this Arrowhead game. And I think we're going to lose. But I'm not even going to predict that game right now, like in terms of breaking it down. But, man, tell me you can't see this path to 7-0. I know I'm already ready for the comments. Juan, you're being biased. Juan, you're being a homer. There's no way we're 7-0. Yeah, right. We're not the same Washington Commanders team. I promise you. And if we're 7-0, at this time, oh boy, I'm going to drag because I'm feeling real greasy. So there you all have it. Let me know what you guys think about this video down below in the comment section. The Washington Commanders are starting off 7-0, and I'm dang sure confident about that. But let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 11,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate it if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Cheers to the start of game week, and cheers to a successful season for our Burgundy and Gold. Peace.
Never gave a damn. Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a lawn.